Hello everybody, my name is Jason and welcome to the Team Size TCG channel. Today I'm joined by teammate Aaron Rucker, winner of the Dark Side Games Sarasota League Cup. He played Zoroark Drampa. Alright Aaron, tell us about the deck.
So basically what you see here, man, is a regular Zoroark Drampa list, just with really additions of Zoroark GX. And so I ran 4 Zoroark, 2 Zoroark regular, the stage 1, and then 2 Zoroark GX, 1 break, 3 Tapu Lele, you know, to draw the supporter out of deck and stuff, 2 Drampa GX, 1 Jirachi XY67 from rotation and stuff like that. I ran 4 Sycamore, 4 N, 4 Guzma, try to get that as much as possible, 4 Ultra Ball to grab whatever I needed for Pokemon, 4 Choice Band to hit numbers, 4 Potown to bring down your opponent's numbers and to also help fuel Drampa's attack. And then over here you see I run 2 Bridget. I really think that 2 Bridget is more consistent than 1. I do prize it a lot, so that might just be my personal issue. 2 Professor Kukui, just to push numbers even further up, and it also helps with the draw engine of the deck. I run 2 Rescue Stretcher to get back all the things that I do lose often. 2 Float Stone for retreat and free retreat and stuff like that, and 2 Field Blower. I also run 7 Dark Energy, and then over here 4 DCE. Try to maximize the deck as much as possible. Yeah.
All right, so I can see you went really consistent with this list. You got a lot of 4-ofs. You're really trying to focus on the main purpose of the deck. So a couple questions. So tell us about what you played against that day.
So my day was a little bit awkward. So at this League Cup, we did do 6 rounds. So the first person that I was paired up against actually played Golisopod Garb, which should be a phenomenal match for me. But I super misplayed really hard, and he was also a really good player, so maybe he just outplayed me because he's a savage. But basically, I went into the match and I allowed him to take some prizes that I shouldn't have allowed to begin with, and he also was able to he consistently was using special energy on his Garbs and DCEs and stuff like that, and I completely forgot that I play this beautiful thing right here that really will stall him out, and it gives me more of an opportunity to set up. And so the first game I lost. The first round I lost harshly. He took all his prizes and I had like 4 left. He like blew me out of the water. My second game, super psyched. I went against what we call is the Prodigy. He's a beast. He was playing Gardy Sylveon, and I was able to take that match. And I know Gardy for Zoroark is oftentimes difficult, but Zoroark GX just got that spice. And so we basically went back and forth, and what I would do is I just used Jirachi promo to knock off DCE since everything he ran was Fairy. And so there was this, what I thought was a really cool play. It was like one of my favorite plays of the day. I attached a Choice Band to Jirachi promo and Kukui'd on the same turn and smacked his Gardy for 120, knocked off a DCE, and was immune to damage. So that kind of put him in a very awkward predicament because the next turn, if I repeated the same thing, I could knock out his Gardy with Jirachi, or I could push with Zoroark. So I ended up taking that game. I mean, it was still fairly close, but I ended up taking that game. Game 3, I went against Drampa Garb, or what I believe was Drampa Garb. My opponent, I went first, and I bridged it. I did the whole setup. It was beautiful. He started Coco, Psychic Energy, Potown, and then passed. And when it came back to me, I used his Potown, put the damage on my Zoroark, charged up my Drampa, and donked him. So I really didn't see his whole deck, but we assumed it was Drampa Garb. Match number 4 was bonkers. So as you can tell in this deck, aside from Jirachi and Tapu Lele, I have a very hefty fighting weakness. And so this awesome guy was playing Machamp GX, and he was just wiping the floor with everyone all over the place. And so we played, and he was just smashing me, and I kept whiffing knockouts. I used Zoroark Break to one-shot him with his own GX with a Choice Band, and after putting some previous damage onto it. And then after that, he just kept like just smurfing me really hard. Like he was destroying all my Zoroarks, my Drampas, my everything, because I wasn't thinking. And so I honestly had to stall the game to a tie. And so what I did is, because I saw how much strong energy he had down, I would constantly Guzma up his Pokemon with strong energy, and I would use Stardust Jirachi to just knock it off and be immune, knock it off, be immune, knock it off, be immune. What also helped is that he had to Sycamore a lot of his Guzmas away early, so he couldn't pull anything off the bench, and what he did pull off the bench, he already had taken 2 prizes off of. And so I just kept Stardusting until they called time. And then he was in an awkward predicament, because this is a very good match for him to win. That is not the end of Machamp GX for me. And so in round 5, I went against one of my teammates, Christian Santiago. You guys might have seen his video early on with his Savage Metagross Solgaleo deck. And so I went against him. And so in round 5, we both had an awkward startup. But this little man right here, the one of that I played, Zoroark, came super clutch. So he had a hand of I think it was 3 or 4 cards, and I didn't know what else to do. I really whiffed energy, and it was a bad situation for me, but he only had 3 or 4 cards, so I thought, you know, maybe it wouldn't be that bad, because he had beaconed last turn, so he had Metang and Metagross, and I was like, oh my goodness, if he busts that out, I'd lose, guaranteed, because he already had a Solgaleo on bench. If he got another Metagross out, he charged up a bunch of stuff and just smash, right? And I didn't want that. So I was like, maybe I can get rid of a Metagross, maybe I can get rid of something good. So I whiny voiced, picked a random card, and it turned out I threw his only Sycamore in his hand back in the deck. So he draws, and he had evolved into Metagross and then Ultra Balled, and I guess he misplayed, because when he Ultra Balled, he didn't have Tapu Lele in deck, so he also got rid of all his Metangs. So he couldn't Ultra Ball for anything, so then he was top decking. And so at that point, that misplay and me being able to get rid of his Sycamore, I was just able to put a lot of pressure with Zoroark and Zoroark GX. And then basically the way the end of the game worked is he had the Solgaleo on the bench, and I had a breakout, and so I Guzma'd it up with Choice Band and one-shot him with his own attack. And so round 5 was kind of, you know, it was very difficult, especially facing a teammate. And then round 5 was basically my winning end. I went against Gardy, which, like I said, is never an easy matchup for me. So basically what I did that matchup is I just used, honestly, Drampa focus, and I knocked out Ralts, knocked out Ralts, knocked out Ralts, knocked out Curlier, knocked out Ralts, and just stayed really heavy on that. And then he brought up a Gallade, and so I Stardusted the Gallade, and then by then it was kind of in my, it was more in my hands to kind of take the game from there. So I just used Zoroark and Zoroark GX to kind of take it from there. And so those are my 6 rounds. Like I said, it was a loss, win, donk, tie, win, and then my final win to actually get me into the top 8. And so then in top 8, I got to go against another really cool guy, Franklin, who was playing Ninetales Zoroark, very similar to Jose Marrero's list. That game was nuts. So first game, I took it by like 1 prize. Game 2, he was like building up and just killing me. I came back a little bit, but then he ended up taking the game. Then game 3, we were just going back and forth, and then time was called, and I was able to take, I believe, 2 prizes to his 1 prize, or he wasn't able to take any prizes. I don't quite remember, but because of that, I was able to take game 3, and he scooped, because whoever, you know, so it worked out for me to get into top 4. And then in top 4, I got to see the amazing, beautiful Machamp GX deck again. So I had to do my best to try to maneuver around that. This time, instead of doing a more focus on Drampa and Zoroark, I figured maybe lean more on trying to take out his strong energies, and then when he gets to the GX, I can copy his GX to knock him out, and then I can just go Lele focus. So game 1, I was able to take by doing that. Game 2, we were going back to back. He was demolishing my Zoroarks. I was, you know, stalling him enough, and then GXing him, and then copying him, and then we were going back and forth. And so game 2, we were both down to 1 prize, and he topped deck, no hand, top decked Fighting Energy for game to knock me out. Game 3, time ended up getting called about a minute or 2 in, and so I rushed. I didn't bridge it or anything like that. I just went Zoroark GX, knocked out his active Machop, which had energy on it, and all he had was a Remoraid from when he did bridge it. And so basically from there, I was able to take the game by being ahead in prizes, because he didn't have a setup or any backup attacker. And so I was able to take out Machamp GX, which for me was the win of the day. That junk was so hard. It was not fun. I tied it. I was like, yes, I tied Machamp GX. And then I was like, oh my God. So Machamp, bro, dude, you were nuts. All right. And then my last matchup was yet again against Gardevoir. That deck is just wild. I hate it, but it's good. And so this gentleman was playing Gardevoir GX with Zoroark GX and Sylveon GX. This guy was like tech delicious, right? And so we were just going, and I was able to knock out his Ralts early game, like with Drampa, you know, use my trades to try to set up as much as possible, and then copy his GX attacks and things like that to knock him out. I was able to take game 1. Game 2, he was getting a little bit further. He set up a Gardy. I was able to knock out that Gardy with the GX and stuff like that. And then he came up with Gallade, and Gallade was just killing me. And he knew I played Stardust, so he put 2 Fairy Energy. Right? He just isn't trying to work around me, this guy. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up bringing out Zoroark, and I was able to copy his attack with Kukui to knock him out. And so after I knocked out that Gallade, he didn't have a lot of steam after that. And so after that, I was just able to knock out more Ralts, more Curlias, his Octillery, things like that. Not Octillery. He didn't play Octillery. But I was able to knock out all the other stuff. And I was able to take game 2 2-0 Gardy for the win, which was nice, man. And so it was pretty difficult, but it was a fun run.
Yeah, so Aaron's currently at 180 points for the season. He's looking pretty solid. Aaron, do you have anything else for us? Any shout-outs?
Definitely want to shout out Team Pscythe for life already, as you guys are listening to or watching the channel and stuff like that. I love Zoroark GX, bro. I'm gonna keep running it ever since Danny Altavea, my guy, or Altavea, whatever, however you say your last name, bro. My apologies. If it wasn't for you, I probably would have never ever come to realize how beautiful and amazing this man over here is. And so I just want to thank you, thank my moms, thanks everybody else, thank Lord Jesus, and yeah, that's it.
Well, I'm really glad the Jirachi promo worked out. That was something we discussed the night before, and it proved to be really important in your Guardy matchups, and even in some of the interesting matchups like Machamp. I wasn't expecting you to use that in that way, so props to you on that. That's really an interesting one to write in the book. I got to take note of that one.
Well, you're the one who came up with it.
Yeah, so all right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and save yourself the headache, and subscribe for more content. Take care, guys. Bye.